What's good, fam? Welcome to Relationship Realities, where we are going to dig deep, we're going to laugh hard, and we are going to get real about what it takes to build strong, healthy relationships. And of course, I cannot forget my lovely co host. Is it cool to call you lovely because you a dude? What's that?
Look, we're gonna roll
My
with it. I'm
fly
I'm
co
I'm I'm good in
host.
my own skin, so you can, as
Hey,
long as you don't say like precious or uh what's another word? It's a little too sus. Yeah, precious or
Jammer, welcome.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
again for joining me today. How you been?
I've
How was
been
your
good.
break?
Man, my break was great. Actually, I'm technically still on break because I didn't work this week, so didn't work last week either. Like, don't tell nobody. If my job is nah, but I mean, I'm good. My break was good. Got to see some fam back at the
Good.
crib. Got to see my parents. Check on them old folks. They doing good. They still off the chain. Still trying to do too much in their 70s. Trying to do too much still. I'm like, y'all need to sit down. They can't sit down for 5 minutes. Always
No,
trying to do
not
something.
at all. Not at all. Well, fam, get y'all drinks, get y'all snacks. We
Hmm.
got multiple topics to begin the year off. Happy New Year if y'all didn't catch me last week. Again, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, when you need to catch us.
Hmm.
So, to start the topic off, this video I saw on one of Anton Daniels' shows, mini shows. Shout out to Anton Daniels. That
Hmm.
man is a beast. He is getting it. And
Absolutely.
love to see him setting an example for us all. But
Hmm.
he introduced this topic. I thought it was a great topic. And the question is, having children essential to living a fulfilled life?
Hmm.
So here's one of the creators, and this TikTok kind of went viral, um, where a young lady talks about whether or not having children is worth it. So let's see what she's got to say.
Lady that came on the internet and asked all the moms if children are worth it. I'm going to give you a short and quick answer. The answer is no, they aren't. Now, before you mom crusaders come up in here trying to come for me, please understand that I am not Beyonce and I do like to cuss. But also, let me explain. Okay, the thing about it is, children will be the greatest love you've ever known, experienced. Oh my gosh, it's like nothing you can even explain, right? But with every high, there is an opposite and equal challenge to go with it. And if you want to have kids and make them worth it, you need three things, okay?
So, first question:
Hmm.
is it worth having children? Do you believe having children is essential to living a fulfilled life?
That's a loaded question. Yeah, it's a great question though. First, I'm gonna answer it from my perspective, right,
Mhm.
of how I personally feel. Yes, I believe that having children is life fulfilling because you're leaving a legacy. I mean, I feel like as
Mm,
in our culture, it's very important that we breed folks who can continue to keep our culture and our families moving. I'm saying this because my last name is Campbell. My son is the last Campbell. So if he doesn't have any children, that name is done,
mm,
on my side, because my dad and my uncle were the only two male Campbells outside of my grandfather. Now, my uncle, he do got some kids are running around. They last name probably it, but I can't claim them because I ain't never met them before. You know what I'm saying? So, but think it's important from a legacy perspective just to keep a name going, man. Like my last name to me is everything. So, seeing how hard my pops worked, seeing how hard my grandfather worked, like I wanted to keep that going and build on that. I mean, because my grandfather had credibility in his community. Like people knew who John Campbell was. Like I want to continue that. And I
Mm.
if I don't continue that, I'm letting him down. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure he felt the same way from his grandfather or great grandfather, however that worked out. Like it is meaningful. Now I would say the opposite side of that is it depends on the individual. And it truly depends on what your life goals are. Like if you don't give a damn about building a community, if you don't care about like etching your mark and your
Mhm.
family's namesake, then obviously it's not going to be for you because it is work. You got to put in the effort. Uh, the time continues, like I have to say, society continues to evolve. So you have to be able to match what society is doing in order to raise children nowadays. I know we haven't gone that far yet, but my perspective is personally, yes, it is life fulfilling. I feel like it's a necessity. Just for I'll say for black folks, it's a necessity, man. We need to have children. We need to be able to because we continue to fail in things that we should be successful in. And part of that is because we don't have good parenting. So, you know what I'm saying? So if we can actually raise good parents, we can build better communities. Not that's
Mm.
why I think it's important.
Shout out to Free. He's uh, watching us on Facebook. Um,
Salute
shout
to
out to
free.
everybody on
Absolutely.
Facebook, YouTube. We on Twitter. Come on, join the conversation. Let me know where you are watching from tonight. I know a lot of y'all are in some snow and ice at home in the
Oh
comfort of your
man.
home. Shoot me in a snowflake emoji. And also, our prayers are definitely going out to
Oh.
those in LA. Our family has
So,
a couple of people out that way
mhm,
who we have to keep checking on them, and
same.
prayerfully they will not be affected. And man, it's devastation.
It's a bad situation.
So, Jammer, it sounds like you are more. I don't know. Is having children more about a legacy or a personal fulfillment?
I know it sounded selfish the way I said it. Right? Like I want to say that like off the dribble because I have friends who do not care to have children at all. That's why I started it out by saying for me
Mm,
it is. For me it's essential because I number 1 I do want my last name to continue, but
right.
number 2 I do want to put people on this world who can continue to uplift
Hmm.
our community because I feel like again the struggle right now is we don't have people who understand even how to be parents. We don't have people who understand how to fit in society. Like let's just go there. So I feel like if we do a good job of actually raising children, it's almost like I feel like we need a do-over. If that makes sense.
Not
We
the
need a
do
do-over.
over.
We need to remake what we're doing.
Right.
We tried it with the gumbo with the seasonings, and the seasonings just didn't come out right. We got a lot of broken situations, and we need to correct that. So when I say do over, I'm not saying erase. I'm just
Yeah,
saying do over
yeah,
as far as like a mindset do over.
yeah.
But
I mean,
again,
the
depends on the
good
individual.
word says we need to be fruitful and multiply.
Mm, mm. Other Indians be doing it. They will.
Iceberg Slim said, "I agree with Jay Camp." He was like, "It's dirt in the greens."
It's dirt in the greens. Like in my community where I live at here in Florida, it's very, very extremely diverse. But I be seeing how successful some of these other ethnicities and cultures be
Mm,
because they put such a premium in family. They put such a premium in education. They put a
mm,
premium in just handing their offspring the tools to survive. Like, I, that's why, like, I salute like Indians. Like every Indian in my community is uber successful, and they like they do everything together. We
Yeah.
don't do that. I'm jealous, to be honest. So when I say like a do over or a makeover, we need to have more of that, because we did have more of that when we owned our own businesses back in the 60s.
Mhm.
Before we was hoodwinked, we had to sell our property. We were selling our land. My family had like 30 acres of land, farmland. Sold it. Sold it. Got hoodwinked. Like
Yeah.
those are the type of decisions that we make that do break up our families. And you can actually get those jewels back by building better family structures. And you can do that by having offspring. You can't build a better family structure if you don't have no offspring. You can't.
Free said it's got to be personal because the only one that can carry the legacy is the male. What if you have no male child?
That's 100% free, but you can always teach that young lady, though, how to be a wife. Because we see you want to call it the modern, the modern female. We see how they doing. I
We
listen.
trying to help them out. We working on them
we
free.
we can work in parallel. Free. I get what you're saying from a legacy perspective. Yes, you got to have that male, but we can still help out the world by eliminating some of the foolishness that's going on with the modern society. That's basically kind of like my point with that.
Iceberg said, salute to free. And he says, the music in black churches are where we need to start rebuilding.
Man, preaching.
Facts.
Iceberg is preaching.
Uh, so, what is what influenced you to have children? You and your wife to decide that
Mhm.
y'all want to have some children.
I mean, we both just big on family. You know, I mean, we both big on family. Um, we come from large families,
Mhm.
so and we always wanted to build um that foundation to where we wanted to put our son in a situation where he can go out here and be president if he wanted to. He can do whatever. Like I want to be able to give him the tools, and I feel like
Right.
um my purpose is to be able to, what I'm saying, make again, I want him to be far superior than what I ever would have been mentally,
Right.
and so, and I feel like we do a lot of complaining
Mm.
today, and we talk about other people's kids and what other people aren't doing right, but then we don't want to take the time out. If you're not going to help the coach and educate, then I feel like you should
Facts.
you need to plant your own seeds and
Yeah.
let them do work.
So for those in our audience, Jammer and I have children. And for those who don't have
This is just
children,
my opinion too. I'm not saying you
let
have
us
to think
know
like me.
in the comment section what influenced you not to have children. Because believe me, these children are expensive.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's there's many reasons not to have children, but
It's a bunch of
very
reasons not to
similar
have
to you. It to me, it's about building a legacy. The Bible tells me to be fruitful, multiply,
them.
uh,
Hmm.
and hopefully be able to contribute to the community and to build this kingdom, a God-like kingdom, of
God like
course.
kingdom. God like kingdom.
So what and we're going to go on to the next topic, but before we do, what advice would you give to a couple that is contemplating, whether or not they should have children?
It definitely has to be a situation where they both want to have it. It can't be one person wants to do one thing, the other person's going this way. You can't be like that. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? You have to be like this. If you're going to make that move, because like you said, children are precious, but you'll be doing your child a disservice if one side don't really want to have, because you're not going to be all in, you know. And like Shorty said, yes, it's a different type of love that you're going to have for any other human being. Like a love for a child is, you can't put a qualification on that love. Like it's different. Like when you have children, that love is different. But you might have an element of that, but you're not going to do all you can to make sure that child is put in the best position to be successful, in my opinion. Outside, it's different. Like I'll say like Donald Trump, for example. I'm not saying that he don't love his kids, but there's elements there where I'm like, bruh, like I know that kid was just one that was a mistake kid. I can tell by the way you treat them. You know what I'm saying? Like a check ain't love. Love is when you doing the little things. Like I'm not saying taking little Johnny outside to throw a, you know what I'm saying, throw the baseball around. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like actually like teaching, like real talk. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I homeschool, because I feel like that's my mission. Like you not gonna get what you really need from school. Sending you to school for me, that's like George Bush when he got the honorary degree. I feel like I'm not really giving you what you really need. You're not going to learn anything unless it's coming. Because I need to be able to
Right.
teach you. Like I'll use iceberg for example. Like I got to be able to slide you them red pill joint. You know what I'm saying? So you can see. I got to unplug you from the matrix a little bit so you can really see what everything is talking about, so you don't get hoodwinked out here
I mean, Iceberg said black people mainly focus on the fast
on the
bag
fast
and
bag. It's
not
like fast food.
biblical principles.
We focus on the dollar menu. We focus we are the perfect example of microwave society. We want instant gratification. We want that McDouble because it's quick. We want the quick meal. We don't want to just take the time out to learn how to cook. Like that type of stuff is what we should be teaching. That's what we should be. Those are the jewels we need to be dropping.
Yeah. And, I will always, always, always say if you are in a two-parent household, I would never, ever recommend a woman have a child by herself.
Mm,
Ever.
that's a tough
Um,
situation.
and it's a lot of complex issues to discuss. But
Hmm.
yeah, it has its good, just like marriage. It has its good things and it has bad things. Free said my daughter just started homeschool and it seems to be great. Nice. Iceberg Slim said J Camp is right. The Indians focusing on family first, then the long-term bag at the same time.
The long term bag comes, and you can just see how successful they are because they're all on the string. They're all on one chord. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't see them like veer off. Like it's a mindset, man. You got to be well grounded. You got to be disciplined. That's what we don't have like family discipline
Yeah.
because uh, you know you got like the matriarch sometimes who will let the bad kid continue, like enable them. Oh, he's just sick, or she's just hurt
Yeah.
on that narcotic. You know what I'm saying? You on you on that boy. Like that's not a sickness. That's a choice. Like we need to get them real help. Just saying, oh well, don't y'all get on them. It's a sickness. Like that's where like we felt that's where the man has to come and say, no, ain't no sickness. Like we about to
Mhm.
crack some heads up in here. I got the cure for him. He may not
Yeah.
like it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's where we can come together and do a better job than and be more disciplined, you know,
Yeah.
and to stop enabling foolishness because we feel like we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Like that's whack. We got to get out of that.
We're emotional creatures. So, right. Yeah. Rightfully so. Moving on to our next topic. Um, should you move in with your soon to be or your fiance or, your
Ooh.
long-term girlfriend before marriage. Now, we have Mr. What is it? Shark Tank himself, Kevin O'Leary, put out a
Mhm.
video. And this is his opinion on whether or not you should move in before you marry.
I love this
Interesting.
topic. Go ahead.
To the whole deal. Get married. I don't care who the other significant is. You've got to really build something together, make a commitment, and then fight to keep it. Of course, you're going to have tough times. And it's easy if you've just moved in together to just walk away. But if you're married, that's much tougher. That's why marriage works all around the world. Not so easy to get out of, and it makes you fight to stay together. Think about that. Thank goodness you know me.
Thank goodness you know me. Okay.
Throwing darts at the board.
So Kevin's saying that we should get married first before we move in. Do you think moving in before you get married hurts the relationship?
No, that's why I'm gonna push back on Kevin slightly. Slightly. I feel that cohabitating allows me to know who you are, you know, because listen, I might be shaving over the sink or something. I might not wipe it out good. But if you don't know that and we get married and then all of a sudden that's a complaint, like it's a real problem, baby, I'm gonna need you to know these type of things when we are dating and cohabitating. Like I'm not saying first year we're gonna move in together. I'm saying like if we got a nice, good, steady relationship and it's working after
Mm.
4 or 5 years and we decide to, get a little now rent. I'm not saying sign no more, sign that type of paper. You can get out of a lease, but I feel like we need to cohabitate first and understand each other because man, you just don't understand people's habits until you really live with them. And I felt like that really helped out me and my wife is to understand each other better because we live together. I mean, now the Bible says that's somewhat sin, but I feel like
Well, it's not really clear.
it's not
It
good. It's vague.
it's
It's
not
vague.
it's nothing that strictly says you can't live together, but it does
Right,
say sex before marriage is a
right,
sin.
right. That is a sin. That is a sin, correct. But I will say that us living together first helped us understand each other, and we was able to those little things, those little nagging things, we was able to kind of understand each other and we was able to get over it. We was able to have those conversations early in our relationship before we got married. I think that's what hurts people when they do get married because they can't have those conversations yet because they're not cohabitating. So to
Cohabitating.
me, cohabitating is the ultimate way because you learn more about somebody when you live with them than not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Iceberg Slim says other cultures have the blueprint to build functional families, healthy communities,
100%.
and long-term wealth.
Pay attention.
Um,
If people paying attention,
so if
Iceberg
you
is
move
right.
in together, do you think, like Kevin suggested, that alters or changes your commitment
No,
to
because you
this person?
it could depend again, depending on the individual. But I feel like it forces you to make tough choices. If you really, really want to be with that person, can you deal with that? Man, this dude be leaving hair in the sink sometimes, or she be having clutter sometimes. Are you willing to deal with that long term? Because I feel like that puts more of a it's more of a challenge. Those are opportunities to where you can decide, okay, is she the one or is he the one? If we can work those things out, it's going to make marriage to me simpler. Not saying easy,
Mhm.
simpler. It's going to make it more functional because we already know how to have those tough conversations that a lot of marriages fail when they don't have them.
So if you know she's the one, does it matter whether she plucks and boogers into the sink or you know shaves her legs in the sink if she's the
I'm
one?
I mean, if she's the one, I'm good with that. But what I'm saying is some people aren't though, and some people have to get over that. And it's whether they're willing to work like your boy said, like to get over it because it's hard. Like relationships are hard. I mean, marriage is one thing, but relationships are hard too. It can be a relationship with your homie, it can be a relationship with your homegirl, or relationship at work. Those relationships take work, period. But I
Period.
feel like if we're talking about we want to spend our everyday together, I need to be able to cohabitate with you first. Because again, I'm gonna learn about your financial habits. I'm gonna learn about like what makes you tick, what don't. Like, how far are you willing to go? Are you gonna be like Shorty when she was like, I ain't paying none of my man's bills. I'm pocketing my check. You gonna be like her? Like, there's
So
a
that
lot
was
of things you gonna find out when you cohabitate with somebody.
that's my next
Lot.
question. So when you move in together, do you split everything 50-50, like as if y'all were roommates?
That's a great question because I think it works differently
Mm.
for different people. Now, I propose doing it that way just to see who can manage. And then if somebody over expends or if they over exceed that threshold, you going to give them a couple of dollars or two. I feel like those are like some of the best learning experiences though that you can have as a couple is really understanding how to balance that budget. Because when you single, you know how to balance your own budget. You know what that bank account looks like when it goes in the negative. You know how long you got until your bank is like, nah, we ain't paying for this next one that come out. You already 300 under. Some people bring those same habits into relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's so many things that again you're going to learn about somebody because if you dating somebody and y'all not living together, you may not know homie's bank account is negative 400. You may not know that. He might have a BMW. You think everything is good. He's paying for dinner, but deep down, he's checking his account every single time that card swipes to see if he got to pull out another one. You know what I'm saying? So a female can be doing the same exact thing. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, these are conversations that you do have to have, and these are lessons that you learn quickly when you cohabitate with somebody.
Free
Because you
said
got to
it
learn to
also
share. You got to learn to share.
mm, that part. That part. Free says it also depends on when you meet. Where I am now, I have my own place. She has hers, and we spend time at one another's place to see how we operate in our own spaces. It
That's
gives
dope too.
insight to how you really are without having to live with one another.
And see, I'm glad that he put live in quotes, in air quotes, because what Free is saying is not cohabitating is working. And he's learning from that angle too. Because I agree. Because I've been in situations like that before too. Like where, one weekend you at my spot, next weekend I'm at your spot, you know. So you can't always keep them socks in the living room floor. You got to put them joints up. You know what I'm saying? So it does teach you in ways to make sure you stand on point because you don't want your girl to come through and think you living like a true bachelor. Like you don't give a damn about like anything. Pizza box on the floor.
But don't y'all?
2 liter empty 2 liter bottle. You don't want that. So I do agree with Free though. I mean, there is no one way to skin a cat. So I don't want to make it seem like that you have to live with somebody. You do not. I'm just saying, for me, I need to be able to learn if we can have that next life together because I still feel like at the end of the day, that his and her closet be a little bit different when you living together and she got the whole damn closet and you got one sock drawer that you got to put
I
everything in.
mean,
You know what I mean? Like
we gotta look fly. I mean, isn't that part of what y'all like about us is the visuals? I mean,
that's
we
what
gotta
I'm saying.
maintain.
How much are you willing to give up of your closet? Can I put my Timberland boots in there, even though you got a whole bunch of Prada boots in there? I don't want to keep my boots in the garage or sit them outside on the porch. I need to be clean too. So these are things that couples have to work out, and those are little things, but those are things that matter for a lot of people Because basically what you saying, Les, I can't just give up my closet space. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just gonna let
I
your
can
button
share,
up. You got a
but how
raggedy
much?
button
Eh,
up, and I'm not letting it in this closet at all. Them
not that
dusty
city red
jeans.
bottoms.
Remember we talked about them jeans? You've been gaining weight, and them jeans a little tight in the thighs, and you still got it in my closet, knowing you can't
I
wear
mean,
them. You got them in here for motivation, thinking you're gonna get in them jeans again. Look, yeah,
I Smart Slim said he is keeping it 100 with Shorty because there's gonna be some dirty dishes in the sink.
Iceberg's like, look, I spent a lot of time making that broccoli and cheese. These dishes gonna have to sit in the sink for a couple of days. Don't come up in here judging me off that. I put that work in. You ate them. You ate that broccoli and cheese too. It was good. So don't be judging me.
Oh man. Free said, you know what? You have to consider that most people don't. Can you handle each other's
Boom.
boring? It's all
Mm,
fun and exciting dating and going out, but just being at home and truly knowing how to enjoy one another is a task for people
facts.
because all they know is the fun you.
Facts. Facts.
Facts.
Free. I'll give you a perfect example of that too. I remember like when me and my wife first started dating, I took her to the movies to go see Lord of the Rings with me. She was asleep within the first 5 minutes. I knew she didn't want to go, but she went anyway. She was a trooper. That
We
movie
just
was like
wanted
three
to be
hours, three and a half hours long.
yes.
But that was that boring part. There was a nerd, like she embraced the nerd side. So she already won off like the second date. I'm like, oh, you gonna go see Lord of the Rings with me? She said, yeah, I'll go. I really, but she did say I ain't really feeling it, but I'll go. She sat in there. I mean, I seen her like moving around a lot, like, she didn't know what was going on, didn't know none of the character, nothing. She was just
That's how I
in
feel
there.
about that WWE. Like, what is this?
Man, somebody get their leg drop on them. That's what that is, an elbow to the chest.
And I'm like, oh yeah, how nice. Not entertaining for me,
You do
but
gotta know your audience. I fumbled though. I ain't gonna lie, because I knew she didn't want to go see that, but I was like, "Nah, girl, you going?" And she hung in there. You know what I'm saying? She would have rather seen Poetic Justice, and I took her to go see Lord of the Rings. Like I technically fumbled on that, but what I'm saying
I
is like
mean, you know,
to Free's
it's
point,
all about
she embraced my boring.
spending time. You know, sometimes we just want to be in y'all presence. We ain't have to do a
Hmm.
whole lot. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
before we move on to the next topic, what lessons did you learn by moving in before y'all got married?
A lot of the lessons, I think that Free had just kind of like talked about eloquently when he stated that you do learn habits as well when you spend time at somebody's crib. You know, and Iceberg said the same thing. Like you expect a dirty dish or two in that sink. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide to move in with me, that's not going to change. You know what I'm saying? You might expect them clothes to pile up a little bit. If you look at my laundry room, you expect it to pile up a little bit. Like men are gonna do things what men do. It's just kind of like what we do. We not always squeaky clean. I think any man would admit that. Like we'll do the bare minimum to make sure everything look good, and it's what I'm saying. Especially when we live alone, it's like it's just me. Like I don't care if I got a hole in my sock. I'm like I'm good. I'm just chilling. I'm playing this video game. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But those are the type of things that when you come to my crib, you're gonna have to accept, similar to Iceberg with the dirty dishes. You know what I'm saying? My closet is I'm not gonna have a pantry full of Mrs. Dash and all kinds of
Mhm.
what's the king? What's homie's name?
Spice King.
Spice King. I ain't gonna have Spice King in there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
About to say
Mari's. It's gonna be some Larry's in there. You know what
straight
I'm saying?
Lowry's
So
and pepper.
it's gonna be that and pepper and salt. It's gonna be some ramen noodle packs, all that type of stuff. So you have to understand, like, yes, I can cook when I need to cook, but if it's just me and I need something quick, I'm not about to make no steak and shrimp. I'm just me. I'm just not. You know. So don't come over here expecting like a big ass meal because it just ain't gonna take place. So those are the type of things that you can learn because some women might come to my spot and think, oh, I know he's gonna have a meal prepared for me. And then you're gonna come over and be all the way disappointed because it's gonna be some DoorDash. It's gonna be prepared, but DoorDash is gonna bring it Olive Garden through, or we gonna roll to Olive Garden, one or two. You know, get your
Just roll.
breadstick,
Don't try to pretend. Just roll.
but
Just
that
roll.
breadstick is not gonna be homemade. That breadstick is gonna be made by somebody else's. The Lord is gonna bless somebody else's hands to prepare them breadsticks.
Hey, but them breadsticks be on point though.
They do
I have
be
to
on
tell them,
point.
hey, one basket minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Free said when she like, I'm gonna drop by, and she 5 minutes out.
Facts.
We
100, because you ain't got
do like
nothing.
to do that. Because we
Bed
trying to
don't be
see how
made.
y'all living.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I hate that drop by. Hey, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm just leaving the grocery store. Okay, come on through. I'm over here sweating, trying to get stuff together. Bed ain't made, ain't nothing done. You know what I'm saying? It's like iceberg dishes in the sink. I'm trying to drop them all in the dishwasher.
I mean, how you think we feel when y'all be like, hey, I want to head on over? Dang, gotta shave. Hurry up and fix his hair, brush my teeth.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like that for both sides. You know,
Yes.
yeah.
Uh,
Cause y'all be trying to
whatever.
sweep everything in that closet too. Closet
Oh,
door don't never don't
closet and
never
underneath
open
the
for
bed.
nobody.
Underneath the
closet
bed's a good one too.
closet door don't be open for no. You clean the bathroom. You clean the bathroom in your bedroom. You clean, you know what I'm saying, the bathroom in the hallway. But everything's gonna be swept right in that closet. Door gonna be shut.
Done.
Free says she could tell when she get there.
She can tell. We can tell.
Like
Whatever platform you're on, please make sure you hit that like button.
and
If you're on
subscribe.
YouTube, please, please, please help the platform so we can spread the word, share our knowledge and wisdom to folks, and subscribe if you are on Facebook or Twitter. See if you can
Yes,
hop on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button as well. It is a free way to support the channel. We appreciate all the love that you all have given us. Moving on to the next topic. What is the main reason why men get married? Let's check
that
out this
picture.
video.
Man
That picture
wants to
threw me
get
off.
married. He's only getting married truly for one reason. The men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex because he can get sex from multiple women. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them these women do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
Mm.
Sister had a couple of valid points. So, as a man, what are the main reasons men get married? Oh, and before I get into you answer this, I gotta give a big shout out to my guy, Monster Cameron. He has been with me since day one.
Monster
Shout
Cameron,
out.
what's happening?
Let me know. Are you still in Thai? Is it Thailand? I thought you may have moved to. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you at.
Man, and let us know if you are in Thailand. Do I need to pull up? Do I need to it make that my forever home, because I done heard some good things about Thailand. So
Oh yeah.
keep us posted out
Um,
here in these streets.
right. So what are the main reasons men and women, please, please, please take heed to this information and stop making up your own
Hmm.
answers? We have a guy here who is telling you, he's giving you the blueprint of
Hmm.
the reasons why men marry. And take heed to these responses, please.
Right. I mean, you want someone who is of female persuasion that you can kind of call your best friend too. Things you really can't talk to your homie about. Not to say that you don't feel comfortable, but these are things that someone that you have a different type of love for, that you can talk to. That's where the support angle comes in.
Mm,
Because men, we want support. We want somebody who can accept our flaws. Because a lot of times we're told what we don't do well. We don't get constructive criticism. So we do want a woman who can be our backbone, the rock, and give us that support. Because I seen, my both my grandmothers. One of them was kind of like a housewife. The other one did work, but they never complained though. Always had a smile on their face. Always dropped gems. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And that's when you do want to have children, you want a woman who's going to be able to kind of be that balancing act. Yeah, I might come home and just be on one, but you want her to be like, tone it down. Let I got this. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? A true partnership. You want that person who can really just be there by your side and kind of handle business, and be that the yin to your yang, who can handle things that you can't do. Like we all need that. We all need that partnership. So like I said, for me, is love, partnership, support. That's it. Like that, men really are simple. We are not
Love,
complex creatures.
partnership, and support.
And
Ladies, are
support.
y'all taking notes? Like, I don't know if y'all know, but if you actually take notes, your
Hmm.
brain will learn to memorize this. Take these
Hmm.
notes. Love, support, and partnership, y'all.
Partnership, man. We got to be a
Monster
union, a
Cameron
true
said,
union.
yes, he is visiting the Philippines. He just bought a house out here and he's furnishing it.
Mm.
He married for love and children. Thailand is heaven for single men, Colombia too.
I see you threw that at the end. You threw that in at
Ah,
the end. It's heaven. It's heaven for a single man.
Free is saying he marries for love, children, and companionship in old age.
And that's
Companionship in
basically
old
the
age.
same thing that I said. He just said it differently.
Yeah.
Partnership, companionship is the same exact thing. Like we just want a good companion, somebody that we could just laugh and cry with. You know what I'm saying? Like there are no boundaries of what we can do. There's no limits of what we can do.
Yeah.
There's no, "Oh, I can't talk to my husband or I can't talk to my wife about this." No, we can talk about whatever we need to talk about. Whatever's embarrassing, whatever's great.
Yeah.
Because that's the first person that you want to talk to when something does go
Let's go wrong.
good or something goes bad, because you
Mhm.
want that person to support you. That's what that is. That's all that is, man. Again, we're simple creatures. We don't ask for a lot.
It's funny because I asked my husband today, I was like, so why did you marry me? And he looked at me like, why are you
He-
asking me that type of question?
I do
Why?
the same thing because I be
And I
getting asked.
said,
I'm like,
I
you ask
need research from my for my podcast. I mean, because I love you.
me.
Any other questions? I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to know. It's funny because ladies, you're hearing this from many men in their different walks of life.
Hmm.
Love, children, companionship, partnership. So, how important is financial stability when you are making the decision to marry?
I mean, it's important, but it's not on like the priority scale. Because you can be very well financially off and be a horrible individual. And most women like that are still single up into their
Mm,
50s, 60s because they don't know how to treat a man. So I don't rank financial stability at the top of my list because it's just not that. At the end of the day, for me, that's not going to keep us together. I mean,
mm,
it'll
okay.
it'll keep us maybe afloat of where we want to be, like depending on what our lifestyle is. But most men are, again, we're looking for that support structure. We're looking for like comfort. We want to make sure we got a landing pad when things ain't going good. I got to be able to. I know I'm coming home and I'm comfortable. I want to be comfortable in my kingdom. I don't want
Yeah.
to be uncomfortable. If all you care about is money, I'm going to be uncomfortable. So financial stability for a woman is not at the top of my list. I mean,
Well,
not
what
to say
about for
it's not a
you to
bad thing. It's just not at the top of my
decide to
list.
marry for her? Like, if you weren't as financially sound, would you still have married her at that same time if you were not financially sound?
Because I was not financially sound when I made that decision to do it. And again, like we started dating so young, in our early 20s. Like I was 19 when we first met. So I didn't have a pot to piss in then. So, and we rode for so long. And then when we were like at a good point, I still needed seasoning from a financial perspective. Like I needed to have like a financial advisor tell me, hey, put your money here, do this. Like I didn't have it all together. Neither of us did, but we
Yeah,
learned together.
together.
That's the partnership. Like we gonna learn how to do this together because when we do have a child, we need to be able to give our child these same tools. So I feel like we can always grow. Like those are the tangibles that's easy to fix if you do it
Mm.
together. Like that's why I say for me, financial stability is just not at the top of my list. It's just not. It's hard to find love though. It's hard to find somebody that you can love. That's hard. I want the things that's opportunities. Give me my stack rankings are based off the opportunities. You know.
Yeah. Monster Kerman said in the US, it's weighed highly. The rest of the world, not so much. Free
Oh,
said that's low on men's totem pole because we don't want to be taken care of.
yeah, yeah. I'm more Charles F. Dutton. I'm more rock when it comes to I can handle my own.
So I'm interested to know, does societal expectations have any weight on your decision to marry? Because with females, they're always trying to marry the female off.
Mm,
And a lot of women get pressure from society or pressure from their family to hurry up and marry. Ooh, you 35, you need to hurry up and get married. You need to hurry up and find your own
mhm.
husband. So, do men have that same experience? And
Yeah,
if so, does it weigh heavily at all on your decision?
yeah. I mean, especially when you come from a close knit family, that's a big family. So
Mhm.
you feel it. You go to the Christmas gatherings, you know what I'm saying? Like my aunt used to always have one. We go there, everybody's there. Most people there with they boo. Like my older cousins, younger cousins, I'd be in there solo,
Mhm.
and people looking at me like, hey, bro, like, what you over here doing, man? Like, are you frugaze? Are you switch hitting on us? Like that type, like they be on that, like trying to apply the pressures. Like, no, I'm just not out here. I don't go to the club to look for somebody like y'all do, bro. That's why
Mm.
y'all got a different chick in here every single year. Like, I know who's gonna come in with a different female every Christmas. That's not a win. Like,
Ah,
your values are different than mine, and that's okay. So as long
yeah.
as you comfortable in your own skin, you can block all that out. But yes, but men do get that family pressure because you have that aunt come through with the finger waves, the one go to, hey baby,
It's always
You
one in
know,
the family.
you look nice. How come you ain't got nobody? When you gonna find you somebody? You know what I'm saying? With them blunt lips, with them cigarette lips, and them Newport lips. Talk about when you gonna get somebody. So we get the pressure too, just like y'all get it. It's different. We get it differently, but it's still there. It's like passive aggressive, subliminal type. What it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as direct. It might be direct from like an uncle, but it's always direct from somebody who don't really have stability. That's what's crazy
Mhm.
when it's coming on a man. Now, I mean, that's been
Yeah.
my experience. Iceberg free, they might have different experiences than me, but it's always from somebody who don't have no stability.
Free said he used to, not anymore. Monster Cameron said, I don't think so. Bachelors and players are more respected. This is why they have tons of, ooh, like ball and chain and other degenerate married men. Mm.
I think that's true, Monster Cameron, but in certain circles. When we talk about like humble upbringing circles, like not like um Hollywood circles. Yeah, they might be more respected there, but when you come from like families that are very close knit, them players and ballers really get joked on most so, more so than anything because you get like people respect your income, but they don't really respect your lifestyle though. Like that's kind of like what I mean by that.
Yeah, it's funny because my great uncle, I brought, I think I've only brought one boyfriend home. And I brought him to one party we had, and I introduced him to my great uncle, and my great uncle said, "Why am I meeting him?" And I looked at him, and I'm like, "Are you really about to act like this?" And I said, "Well, he's my boyfriend, and why am I meeting him?" And I said, "Because I didn't get it." So then, I just walked off. And, once my boyfriend at the time had left, he said, "Do you know why I ask you? Why am I meeting him?" I'm like, "No, I just thought you was trying to embarrass me." He says, "I don't want to meet any man unless he has put a ring on it." I was like,
Nah, he
"Oh,
got he got some he got some expectations is what he got.
missed it." He's
Like
like,
dang,
"Hey,
bro, like
you might be bringing in, boyfriend 2, 3, 4, 5. Why am I meeting him?"
listen, I get it, but it's like, bro, like we can't have that standard. It's like, man, like there is a circle of life that we got to go through. Like, not every one of these I bring home is gonna be that one,
He
but it
he was
is
telling
somebody
me,
who
"Don't
I
bring
felt
them
was
to him
important
unless
enough.
it is."
And I do feel like if you bring somebody to meet your family, I feel like they should be taken as a sign of respect.
Mm.
And at times, because especially for the ones who don't always bring somebody, like you said, that was like the one person that you brought home, and that should have been like a opportunity for that great uncle to just drop some wisdom. It ain't gotta be a haze. Nobody's online. We ain't, what I'm saying? This is not a fraternity. Just drop some wisdom. That's how I feel like where like OGs can like really help because
Help.
that was an opportunity to me that was lost, because your uncle had these. Now he looked at you as somebody like, oh, my great niece, that's somebody who need to be. If you bring her, like, you better put a ring on her finger, boy. Even if he had that conversation, that at
Yeah.
least would let me know as a man, like, okay, like her family is trio, and this dude is like, nah, like you got you one, like do right. Like, man, we appreciate that. You can pull me to the side and give me that conversation. I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that. You're not gonna run me away for
Right,
that.
yeah. Free said his aunt
My
is that way now. She said she not befriending anyone unless I'm putting a ring on it. It could be
listen,
Beyonce, and she
we
don't want
we
to
all
meet.
go we all got them family members like that though too. Like I typically don't swing people around that direction because I just already know it's like this ain't gonna go
Okay, we're gonna
nowhere.
skip
So
that corner right there. Let's
we
just
gonna skip that corner. That's
turn
almost
right
a
here.
gossip corner too. And they single too and gonna try to judge you. No. We gonna swing to a different corner.
Woo! Family is a beast.
A
Okay,
beast.
so in your opinion, do men marry because they find the right person or because it's the right time?
No, I think men marry because they find the right person.
Mm,
Marrying because it's the right time is a cop out. That means you ain't really trying to get married. You looking for something. You looking for an opportunity. That's different for me. Like if I find the right person, that's the person I want. I'm not marrying you because the time there is no time for marriage.
mm,
Not like that. Like that. It, there is no like time stamp. I don't go into a situation like okay, and by year 3 in March, Q1, I have to, you know what I'm saying? That you start to sound like somebody who's in corporate America. Like you got all these like goals that you SLAs that you need to meet. And it's like there's no timestamp on marriage
mm.
because A, marriage is expensive, but B, if it ain't the right one, then the time ain't right. Like the two don't coexist,
Facts. Facts.
from that
I,
perspective.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, so ladies, for my ladies who are out there, get your pens if you ain't got your note, what is it? The notes on your iPhone, iPad. Jammer.
Hmm.
What qualities do you look for in women
Hmm.
that you want to consider to marry?
Um, that's a great question because number one quality, and this might sound like a cop out for some, but to me this is genuine. You got to be a Christian. Like you got to have some form of
Mm,
biblical discipline. Like we got to be able to go to church together. Like I can't marry somebody who's not in the church. Like
okay.
I can't do it. Like it just not that it goes against my morals, it goes against my principles as far as like the things that I need you to be disciplined in because there's gonna be
Mhm.
times we're gonna have to pray together. And if you don't pray, then what do you hope for? Like what is your outlook if you don't pray? I,
Okay.
I I mean, if you even just meditate, you don't have to necessarily be a Christian. You can be a Muslim. We can make it work. But you need to be disciplined in some type of religion to where we kind of understand each other. Like when you see me on my hands and knees and I just ain't speaking to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that I need. Um, the second thing that I need is again someone who's willing to listen. Listen, and you're not just gonna give up because things get tough.
Mm,
Like our back is gonna be against the wall at times. I need to know, are we in this with me and you, or you just want me to be the one who's gonna do the fighting and the pushing and not physically. I'm talking about
right.
fighting for us for
Right.
our marriage. Like I need somebody who really is going to be willing. If we need some counseling, like you got to be willing to to be open about things that just aren't right. We don't have to be disrespectful. Like you can talk about, you can disagree, you can agree to disagree, but also come with solutions and meet halfway.
Mm,
So you you got to be an understanding individual, you know, and then we have to hold each other accountable. That's where that partnership comes in. If
comes
you
in.
see me slipping, tell me. Don't enable me to be foolish. Like, don't do that. Like, if there's things you see me doing that ain't right or that you ain't feeling, like let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. So just being open and honest. Like there are no borders. There's none of that. We don't have to put each other in a box and put borders on it to where, oh, we can't talk about that, or we can't go there. No, like there is no we can't go. We need to go there. That's how we keep this thing moving.
Moving.
you
Yeah.
know and then like and just the unconditional love that kind of ties everything together, that puts everything in a bow. It's got to be
Unconditional.
unconditional, because unconditional is different. Like, you can love someone, like I love my homies, I love my friends, but unconditional, that's different you know
Yeah. Monster Cameron says he agrees that it doesn't take long to marry someone, but he'll say we think we find the right person and hope that their representative is aligned with their true self. He says
100%.
his qualities, again, ladies, I hope y'all got y'all notes out:
Mhm.
aligned long term vision, complementary personality,
Mhm.
humility, forgiving spirit, not spiteful, and a good listener.
Listen, all those are qualities that I would say is universal, um, amongst men. Because if you're not a good listener, we can't make it happen, because that means you tuning me out. Like, you only want to get what you need to say out.
Doing all the yapping.
And that means you're a person who's going to have a bunch of assumptions. Like, let's say, like, uh, something happened, like some food spilled on the floor.
Mm.
You automatically assuming it's my fault. And I may not even ate that day. I could have just went the day. I might have been on the fast. I could have went that day and had no food at all. But you gonna get on me about food being on the floor, and it's not even my food. Like, it's like, think for a minute. Like, take a deep breath. Like, you want to have somebody who has that quality of humility. It's like, I don't want to go off the deep end until we have this conversation.
Section. Hmm.
So I agree completely with what Master Cameron said. Now, he went into detail. If I had my pad out, I could have probably wrote some more stuff. But that's why I love this conversation, because when you're not prepared for it, it really does make you sit here and think, like, about the
Yeah.
qualities that mean more to you than anything. There's
Mm.
also other qualities that both men and women want, like the affection and stuff like that. But that is really not like at the top of my list. I ain't gonna lie. I will say this though. I do need to have somebody who can cook though. Like, if you can't cook, we can't work.
Y'all, you can't do the fast food life?
I know that sounds selfish, but like, I grew up
You gonna be
with a
cooking with Kaya, cooking
especially,
with
you grow up
Kaya.
in a family full of cooks, and every time you eat somebody's food is bomb. Like, I was spoiled as a kid. Like, there's no way I could have married anybody who couldn't at least cook. You don't have to cook as good as like my grandmother, my aunts, my mom, but you got to at least be in that ballpark. Like, you can't be
Ballpark.
hitting foul balls every single time. Like, you got to hit some singles, some doubles, get your home run every once in a while, because I gotta eat, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be just we not gonna be fast food and door dashing it every night. Nah, it's yeah,
Free said it's got to be all three: right time, right person, right place. Right time for me means we have to be at a similar place in life or at the same maturity level.
for sugar dead.
I got to be
Absolutely.
able to look at you, just being honest. Ooh, look, she
Absolutely.
can't be a looky loo. That doesn't mean it's everything, but I gotta like to look at
No, I
you.
mean, and Free's right. Like, you just can't be a mud puppy. Like, I'm sorry, you can be Mother Teresa, but
That's why we need that closet
if you over looking like
space.
Gargamel, I can't. We can't be a team. We can't be a unit. we, we can't be a unit. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm with Free on that.
He
Now,
says,
I did make it seem like that was more of a priority. It's not, but it
yeah,
definitely helps. Like,
it's
it's a
up
good
there.
boost. It's a good boost.
I mean,
I
last
mean,
week we discussed, some of the resolutions that women should have when, you know, not should say resolutions because I hate that word, but goals we should have to help build a healthier relationship. And one of them was, I said, ladies, we need to start, looking a little bit better. And we can't always come home throwing some jogging pants, put our head in a bonnet and be done with,
I
that's
mean,
one of the things I had to work on, like I need to start coming home. I can put my hair in a ponytail, maybe spray some little smell goods on,
mhm,
wear my little tight workout pants so my little
mhm.
gadonk sticks out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta work on that. Just can't
I
come home with
mean,
the baggy stuff and the pajama pants. So
to that
I
point,
get it.
Les, yes, you can still be sexy with the bonnet, but you gotta have some unbelievable swag though. Like your swag has to be
With the
just
bonnet, you can still look sexy.
you
I
can,
ain't
but
one
your
sexy
swag
girl
has
look
your
or whatever.
swag has to be different. Like you have to have like
Uh,
a what's
you
shorty?
know
I
who that
mean,
probably
you
is?
gotta have like a
Rose.
Nia, you gotta have like a Nia Long type personality,
Okay,
you know.
good.
Personality is so meaningful because we've seen you without the bonnet.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you got the bonnet on, not to say you looking dusty, you can still look good with the bonnet on. But you got the swag. You talking reckless to me, like you talking crazy, like you know what I'm saying, like you really like.
Mm,
Nah, I look good. Like stop fronting, boy. Like you like don't play with me. Like men, like we like to be challenged. Like men like that. To me, that shows you have a confidence about you, a
yourself.
swag
Mm,
that that's why like a lot of like southern dudes and midwestern dudes like New York. I don't say New York, I say East Coast women because they very like confident. Confidence, like you just see a shorty with some Timberland boots on, some baggy jeans, and a hoodie. It's like you don't look sexy like that, but your confidence and you got a nice face. It's like that goes a long way. I'm telling you. Like just you don't have to show your cakes all the time. This helps, but you don't have to all the time. But
it
if you
helps.
got like a personality and a swag about you
Yeah,
that
yeah.
gives off a sex appeal, you can be sexy without having to have makeup and all that stuff on.
Free said if she listens, the rest can be worked on. But if she doesn't listen, all those other things will lose value and eventually she'll be out of the picture.
Man, free, but you already know, just like I know, if their face is just drugged through the mud, that can't be worked on, fam.
My God.
It can't be worked on, bro.
Oh,
Like it just can't. Like there's some things that just can't be worked on. Now, if you're willing to deal with it, the where it's like, yeah, my girl don't look good at all, but she's nice, she's sweet, she's humble, she takes care of me, I take care of her. We got a
yeah.
beautiful marriage. If you willing, hey, she's a good Christian girl. you know, you know, she serves. She serves on the usher board. She's a good girl.
The usher
She's
board.
superintendent of the school system, that
Hey.
type of thing.
Monster Cameron says he gives his wife a budget so she can get her hair, nails, waxing, and spa every two
Listen,
weeks. When
Master
my wife
Cameron, like,
feels
I'm taking
sexy,
care of
our
my baby.
interactions are easier.
He said, I'm taking
Hey,
care of my baby. She gonna be
he
on point.
knows he's on point with that one because that's
Because when I
facts.
come
Like,
home, I want everything right. Nah, he is on point with that. And
I mean,
I
we
do
do
think,
feel differently,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And if you a man who cares about that, which I would think most men do, like give your lady a little change. What I'm saying? Let her get herself together for you. Ain't nothing wrong.
Mm.
It ain't tricking. That's about that is uh, that's opportunity is what that is to me. Like you have an opportunity to get your
Ah,
shorty right. Because listen,
opportunity.
we
Process
don't. Nobody wants to
improvements.
look on the out. I'm not advocating looking on the outside, nothing like that. But if you see a quality that you like, that you've seen, you're like, man, you know what? My wife will look good with that too. Let me go, baby. Go ahead and here's 70. Hit up at spa, get your toes done, get them little corns and get them joints off your heels, and them little cracks and creases, get in all that.
Oh.
That's so. I feel like that's what Monster Cameron's saying. He's like, look, I'm
Yeah,
making sure she ain't got none of that going on at
none of
all.
it.
I salute him for that. He's like, nah, like you ain't gonna about to say my shorty got bad feet at all.
Y'all both. Oh, well, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. We
Appreciate
are
y'all,
going to
man.
definitely see y'all next week. We had a great time tonight.
A
A
ball.
very, very good conversation. Ladies and men, I hope y'all took some notes tonight. You got any additional comments, questions? Please, please, please drop them in the chat. We love to respond and answer any questions or even comment on some of the things that you like to spread your knowledge and wisdom about. But see y'all next time, next
Peace.
Thursday.
Peace, peace, peace.
Love you, fam. Out.